are now listening to The Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys. The Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys is a John Mitchell story and is brought to you by Cine Downloads. Narrated by Dr. Hugh Pincott. Previously on the Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys...
It's just not possible to bring the project home for the kind of outlay you wanted.
Why did you agree to what they dictated?
Today we have managed structure, but in Temple's future, I believe we will look to other ways to run our affairs.
Well, anyway, I'm now a union rep, so I believe the demons will want to listen to me.
Now the next part of the story. Episode 12. The chief looks weary and leaves the room. He goes over to the nearby toilets, and once inside the deserted room, he chooses a cubicle. He closes the cubicle door behind him, sits down, and puts his head in his hands for a while. He tries to regain his composure. Only 10 more years to retirement, he says to himself. 10 years before he can spend all of his time doing something quiet and boring like flower pressing. He spends some time doing breathing exercises. Then once he feels balanced again, he leaves the cubicle. As he closes the door, he is instantly confronted by two Illuminati, 9 feet tall in red robes. He is stunned to see them and looks flustered for a while before asking,
"Do you guys live in these toilets?"
They look embarrassed by his question and ignore it. The one on the left raises a bony finger at him and slowly points it at the chief's head. He follows this by speaking in a raspy and harsh voice.
"We have heard a word that you are seeking a discount from the Illuminati. I would have you know that our agreement was binding in perpetuity, written in stone, and etched in bedrock."
So does that mean that you're willing to negotiate?
The Illuminati on the right raises a bony finger and also points it at the chief's head.
"Are you purposefully testing our patience? Our agreement is binding forever."
Left Illuminati adds,
"We are fulfilling our part of the bargain. An extremely large sum of money has been deposited into a Swiss bank account for your use in controlling your problem, and we have gone to great lengths to silence the media and many others. The true nature of your city's issue is shrouded by our considerable influence, and for this plentiful benevolence, we expect to be paid in full."
Well, of course that'll happen, and, we are extremely grateful for all of your help.
The two Illuminati don't respond, but lower their pointy fingers and then use their hands to beckon the chief to follow them. The two lumbering giants shuffle off further into the toilet area before they stop at another cubicle. They slowly push the door open, then raise their bony fingers to point inside. The chief, who is still standing at the first cubicle, cannot see what they're pointing at, and fearing the worst, he slowly walks over to join them. He reaches the cubicle and follows their fingers to see the object of their interest. Inside, he is surprised to see a man, half undressed, tied up, gagged and beaten, sitting on the toilet. The man's face is deeply bruised and cut. He has dreadlocks, and his eyes are staring wildly off into the distance. The chief is disturbed about what he's being shown and turns to the still pointing Illuminati.
You keep people tied up in toilets?
The Illuminati look at each other.
"No, of course not,"
mumbles the left one.
Do you guys do all your dodgy work inside toilets?
The Illuminati gets flustered.
No, we don't. That is ridiculous."
The chief exec peers into the cubicle again and stares at the broken man on the toilet. He looks at his dreadlocks and studies his beaten face. After a moment, he realizes who the man is.
Well, this is a famous rock singer who went missing a few weeks ago. That Bruce Tomahawk guy. He was all over the news, kidnapped in broad daylight. You kidnapped Bruce, you beat the crap out of him, and now you keep him in a toilet? Why would you do that?
Mr. Tomahawk would not do as we asked. He would not join the Illuminati. He would not let us manipulate his fan base and would not accept our generous offers in return. He spurned our carrot, so we had to use the stick.
Left Illuminati adds,
He threatened to expose us, so we had to act to protect our interests. He declined our charitableness, so we had to teach him a lesson in humility. He's now disappeared forever. Such is the price for crossing the Illuminati.
Right Illuminati closes the cubicle door, and the shocked chief now looks up at them both.
So as you can see, if you wish to cross us, then you too will disappear like Bruce.
Into a toilet?
No, not into a toilet. He was there to illustrate our position. We don't keep him in a toilet.
Right Illuminati says this in a rattled voice. The chief thinks hard for a moment and decides to try and counter-bargain with these guys.
So, you want full payment for the entire problem, and even if we end the problem early, you still want full payment?
The Illuminati nod.
But then what incentive is there for us to solve the problem early? We might as well not bother getting rid of them. We could keep the demons here forever and just get our money's worth from you.
The Illuminati are silent and wonder. The chief continues.
How much are you guys paying to keep this out of the media? Well, you must be paying astronomical amounts to cover this up. The longer it goes on, the more you have to pay. The money you're making from the council contracts and assets, they can't be that much. I mean, I know because we've already screwed them for as much money as we can get. I have a villa in Spain bought and paid for courtesy of these council assets.
The Illuminati are tongue-tied.
So, here's the thing. As it stands, you guys keep paying out gazillions for the cover-up while we keep the demons here and we do nothing. Or we can finish the demon issue early and you save a ton of money, but we need an incentive to make it worthwhile. So, what do you think?
The Illuminati turn to each other and confer in whispers for some time before turning back. Left Illuminati speaks.
You have raised some issues that we may have overlooked in our haste. We feel that in this deal there may be some room for maneuver. Let's negotiate.
The chief exec smiles and rubs his hands together. He walks back into room 23. The other execs see his beaming face and wonder why he's so happy. He tells them that he's sweetened the deal with the Illuminati and that if they finish the demon problem before the end of the year, they will, in return, give back the assets and services after a 5-year period rather than holding them in perpetuity. The other execs are delighted to hear this. The chief continues by telling them that they still need to pay back the money they've borrowed, which is sitting in the Swiss bank account, and all the interest. The execs are okay with this. It sounds fair to them. The chief then continues by telling them that he's agreed to give the Illuminati free access to all council toilets across the city.
What the hell?
The others are puzzled by this, but the chief exec assures them that this extra bit pleased the Illuminati the most. Apart from a handful, the demons had all been branded with a hunter's sigil over the past weeks. All the time, this created a sense of excitement and rebelliousness. The demons wanted to fight the world, but that enthusiasm soon drained away. Rather than feeling free with their situation, they found a growing sense of emptiness. It dawned on them that due to the humans forming an impenetrable boundary around their territory, they were completely trapped on Earth in the city center. For the first time in their existences, these demons had felt complete control of themselves and their surroundings. But now, cut off from the outside world with no way of interacting with it, they felt lost and insignificant. This desolate wasteland they now called home had promised to be the epicenter of their new empire, forged from their total conquest of humanity. But now it represented a graveyard for their ambitions. This decline started when the humans built a continuous barrier of salt-filled sandbags 10 feet deep that surrounded the city center. All underground passageways and sewers are also filled with these salted sea bags. For extra defense, this barrier ran alongside high-powered subterranean water mains. The theory behind this elaborate barrier trusted that demons cannot pass fast-running water or cross salt. Once this barrier was fully erected, the humans retreated away from the city center, back behind the line, and left the demons to themselves. They hoped that if the demons were starved of attention and opportunity to spread beyond the city, then they would simply grow weary of life on Earth and return to hell. The fact that they were still here meant that they were either unbelievably stupid or they really didn't like hell. Either way, the humans were dug in for a long waiting game.
All right, chaps, put the kettle on. Anybody got any biscuits?
The demons, however, had not spent their time in complete idleness. Just before the humans retreated behind the line, there had been a brief skirmish between some newly branded demons and a couple of police officers. These demons attacked the officers in waves for some time, but since being branded, they had lost their supernatural powers and were unsure about how to use their new flesh bodies to fight. As a result, these humans badly beat the demons and caused them to experience something they'd never felt before: pain. After this skirmish, the newly branded demons realized they were now completely vulnerable to attack from the humans and expected a full invasion of their territory as soon as the police reported back. However, that invasion didn't arrive, not that day or the next. This confused and unsettled them, so they decided to spend all their time learning how to use their bodies for war and to numb themselves against pain. So for a whole week they split into groups and fought tooth, nail, claw, tentacle, sucker against each other. It didn't take long for them to feel confident and strong with their bodies, and they were soon ready for anything that the humans may bring on them. Yet, the humans never came, and the demons slowly lost the sense of urgency. From that point on, with nothing to do, they became bored and listless. Efuhofcn and Dhoiufg, since their escape from the void, had managed to secrete themselves into the city center before the barrier was erected. Without being seen, they had based themselves in a badly damaged but still standing building on the outskirts of the city center. This building was a former hairdresser. Here they spent their time disguising themselves through creating new forms for their image. Their plan was not much developed beyond infiltrating the rebel demons to gather information about their situation so that they could somehow find a way to regain primacy over them all. Efuhofcn had spent much time and effort creating his new form. He would change certain parts, observe himself thoughtfully in the smashed hairdresser's mirrors, and change again. He wanted a look that was completely different to his usual form, but would still command respect from the other demons when they saw him. After much deliberation, he eventually settled on a donkey-headed octopus horsebody hybrid. This form, he was confident, would razzle-dazzle the other demons while being so far removed from his original form that it would be impossible for them to recognize him.
Oh yes, that looks rather good. Really, really rather good.
He was very proud of his finished creation. Dhoiufg, however, decided to change his form from that of a snarling pitbull creation to that of a snarling American pitbull creation. This caused some heated discussions between the two of them.
For hell's pit sake, Dhoiufg, you look exactly the same.
No, I don't.
Look at me. I've become some hideously grotesque monstrosity, and you've changed from a dog into a dog that looks the same. I told you to disguise yourself. We don't want to be recognized, otherwise it'll undermine our most nefarious subterfuge.
I have disguised myself, and I look completely different. The American pitbull and a pitbull are very much different.
They are exactly the fucking same!
No, they're not!
How so, then?
Well, the American pitbull has slightly cropped ears, and the other pitbull has ears that are more pointy. Also, the American pitbull's face has deeper cheeks, and its head is a bit more longer or smaller or something, and I've got different coloured collar. It's now red, not brown.
Oh my god, we are so doomed.
No, we're not. I look completely different now.
I want to go out with you there now, not for the original plan, which is sure to be destroyed the instant we leave this building, but to see you get spotted and recognized straight away, because I know that will happen, and I want to prove you wrong.
Yeah, but that isn't not going to happen, because I am not looking at all more difference, so they won't know that I am.
What? You're not even making sense now. You know I'm right, and it's making you so nervous you can't talk properly.
I am not, isn't talking. That is, it's because I am the right. And you haven't not know what you are in talk about. So shove it, you ponce.
Efuhofcn sighs deeply.
Okay then, we'll do it your way. Let's go outside and have our potentially flawless plan exposed by your incredulous flight of flimsy whimsy.
Efuhofcn shakes his hand and walks out of the broken doorway. Dhoiufg watches him, then speaks under his breath.
I'll flimmily whimsily your face into a wall in a minute.
Soon Efuhofcn and Dhoiufg are walking together through the wasteland of the city centre. They move slowly and carefully so as not to invite too much attention to themselves. As they go, they encounter various demons from time to time and issue a polite hello.
Hello there, my good fellow.
Where this is returned without suspicion. During every encounter, Efuhofcn carefully scrutinizes each demon to see if it recognizes Dhoiufg, and much to his frustration, none of them do. This lack of overall suspicion spurs them on to be a little bolder, and they decide to fully interact with one of the demons. They decide to approach a demon whose form is that of a wingless pterodactyl. This demon has decided to experiment by wearing some oversized boots it has found, and is struggling to tie the laces with just a beak and no arms. Efuhofcn greets the demon and, seeing its awkward predicament, reaches down with his tentacles. He quickly ties the bootlaces, and the demon thanks him, whilst admiring its boots. Efuhofcn decides that it's time to start collecting information, and he opens a polite conversation with the demon.
They are lovely boots. They suit you most admirably. Your demon form is very original. A pterodon with no wings. Very good.
Ah! A pterodon! What a grievous insult! I'm a pterodactyl!
The demon squawks angrily.
Okay, but pterodons and pterodactyls look the same.
Look the same? They're nothing like each other. A pterodon has a wingspan of over 20 feet. Do I look like I have a wingspan that large?
You don't have any wings.
Exactly. Also, a pterodon has a crest on its head, and a pterodactyl does not.
That's a fact no one knows. Unless they are specifically educated in that area, the everyday demon in the slime hole would not know that.
Nonsense. Everyone knows that. Just like everyone would know that your friend here is an American pit bull.
Dhoiufg is perked up by that and beams from ear to ear. Efuhofcn is piqued by this.
You think he's an American pit bull? Fair enough. But if your powers of observation are so highly educated, then who does this demon remind you of?
What do you mean?
Look closely at him and tell me who he looks like.
No one I've ever seen before. He's a positive stranger.
Dhoiufg looks triumphantly at Efuhofcn, who sees this and it makes him angry.
No, he's not a stranger. He's someone you know very well. Have a look.
The pterodactyl decides to have a look and peers closely at Dhoiufg for some time. Dhoiufg grows self-conscious being scrutinized and tries to make his ears less pointy. Eventually, the pterodactyl gives up.
Nope. He's no one I know.
Hearing this sends Efuhofcn into a rage.
How can you not know? It's Dhoiufg. Look at him. It's Dhoiufg.
Dhoiufg is mortified that Efuhofcn has blown his cover and stares at the pterodactyl to see its reaction. He expects it to start squawking in a mad panic, but instead it replies in amusement.
What nonsense! There is no way at all, Jehoof.
Efuhofcn is stunned to hear this and asks out of disbelief.
What makes you say that, then?
Why, everyone knows that Jehoof has a brown collar, and this one is red.
Efuhofcn cries out in frustration while Dhoiufg laughs. Efuhofcn storms away and is closely followed by a grinning Dhoiufg. They walk for a little while before Efuhofcn takes a few moments to calm himself, and once he's composed again, they set off to look for their next possible informant. It isn't long before they stumble upon another demon. This one is a giant 25-foot-long amoeba. It is covered in eyes of all sizes that blink unnervingly as they approach. Efuhofcn speaks first.
Greetings, my fellow Hell-dweller. How goes your time upon this mortal realm?
The amoeba's many eyes swivel to regard him, and after some time the amoeba replies,
It is boring, very boring. I am most magnificently bored. We are all bored. So very, 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 very bored.
Is this because you are trapped here? The humans created the barrier around the city, I see, but is there no plan to break free?
No, there is no plan. Only boredom. We are stuck here in boredom. All of us. Very boring and most excruciatingly bored.
But then why is there no plan to break free? Surely a few well-placed thunderbolts or fireballs or a face-melting tornado would smash a hole in their barrier and we'd all be free to burn the earth.
It is because we have the Hunter's Sigil burned onto us. This means we are flesh and have no powers anymore, so no more thunderbolts or fireballs. Just us being very, very boring.
A sigil?
Efuhofcn looks all over the amoeba and finds the sigil burnt into its flesh. He then looks around at some of the other demons in the near distance. He can see that they too carry the same sigil burned onto their bodies.
Why would you carry a sigil that takes away your powers?
So Satan cannot banish us to hell when he comes here. We are of flesh now, which means we are of this earthly realm and not his. So we are now powerless but cannot be forced home. And now we're just so very, very...
Yes, boring, I know.
Interrupts Efuhofcn.
I heard you the first 50 times you told me, you tedious, vapid, platitudinous cretin.
Efuhofcn takes a moment to calm himself.
So you're all powerless. Stuck behind the barrier with no plan and can't go back to hell. This is most interesting.
Yes, and we're all very, very bored too. Very, very bored.
Oh, do shut up. Dhoiufg, come with me. We need to discuss this development with some haste.
Dhoiufg nods. The amoeba swivels its eyes towards Dhoiufg and back to Efuhofcn.
Dhoiufg? But he looks nothing like Dhoiufg.
Efuhofcn hears this and his temper hits a peak. He unleashes a raging ball at the amoeba, which explodes all over it, setting it aflame. The other demons in the background run for cover. Efuhofcn screams at the amoeba.
Why can't you see that this is Dhoiufg? You have 200 eyes!
The amoeba doesn't answer as it's too busy burning and flopping about desperately.
Oh yeah? You're not so bored now, are you?
Dhoiufg grabs Efuhofcn's arm and starts pulling him away. Efuhofcn looks up to see that some demons are looking over at the commotion.
Look, you up there. Those flames look like fire.
Well done, Dhoiufg. Let's go before we garner too much attention.
The two of them walk off quickly now, leaving the now non-bored amoeba to liquefy under the heat.
This episode was brought to you by Cine Downloads, narrated by Dr. Hugh Pincott. Today's episode featured Michael Berryman as Chief Exec, Nicholas Vince as Efuhofcn the Demon, Trevor Neal and Simon Hickson as the two Illuminati. Other voices provided by Louis Thomsen as Dhoiufg, the Demon, John Ian Dredge, Ben Carroll. Written, produced, edited and directed by John Mitchell. Co-produced by Chris Ball Hero. Sound recorded by Louis Thomsen, Chris Ball Hero. Sound engineer Andrew Doc Collins. Theme tune by Jed Gray. Thank you for listening, and watch out for the next episode of the Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys.